Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Welcome back, everybody. It's Paulo Santos again here with another episode of the Offshore Diaries. Today we have a special guest, Patrick Visto. Patrick came to me way of one of somebody I met recently, and she knows that I troll these Reddit pages, trying to just see what's going on in like the virtual assistant offshoring world. And then she forwarded me this post from Patrick, and it was a pretty cool story. So I figured, you know what? Let me reach out to him. He was kind enough to respond to me and get him on board. Patrick, welcome to the Offshore Diaries.
Thank you so much for having me, Paolo. I was really excited when you invited me, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I know when you're starting up, what you're going to start up, and we're going to talk about that throughout this episode. A lot of what you want is exposure, so I'm happy to be able to at least provide exposure of what you're doing, and really kind of give you some support in what you're doing. It's a really cool story. Now, you and I spoke previously to kind of prep this, and your story starts not just recently; it starts way back. So yeah. I'm gonna let you explain first what you're doing now. Then I'm gonna kind of work our way backwards and how it got there. So just to clarify what I read today, your goal is to start something called, say it again, the Libre Academy.
Libre Academy, yeah.
Right, and for the sole purpose of educating virtual assistants and future virtual assistants, completely free, no charge whatsoever. And you want to do this and just business is a labor of love thing. You want to do this to kind of give back, right? So that's all wonderful. But I think the real cool part is how it got to this point and why you're doing it today, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you take us back? You can go back as far as 1 month or 20 years. Let's go back to why you're here today.
Yeah. So maybe I'd like to go further, right? So before I even got to this point where I can now where I now have the skill set, I became a digital marketer not because I dreamed of it, because I had to survive. So I believe it was exactly like 15 or 16 years ago, due to excessive gaming, and no, I mean I didn't have any discipline at all financially, like physically. I was actually homeless for like 3 or 4 months, and I can still remember I used to walk the streets of Taft, going to the pier just to sleep in the pier, because there was like what you call there was like a hotel like for ship people, like people that work in the pier, right, in the port, and you'll just pay like 15 pesos just to sleep there. And I had like very small amount of money before, so I had to survive. At least I had to sleep, right? So I used to walk the streets of Taft, and then whenever there's a chance, like whenever I used to play at Mineski. It's a crazy famous popular gaming chain here in the Philippines before. And so that I can play, I whenever people like leave to go smoke outside or like eat, and then they leave their PCs there, I just take it and then play. That's how ridiculous my life was before. And it also opened up a lot of opportunities for me, because during those times that I used to steal like time whenever people are away on their desk, that's where I sometimes study what's like. I studied coding, I studied Facebook, so something like that. And whenever I had to eat, I used to steal like Snicker bars at 7-Elevens, try to like get some.
Let's hope nobody's listening right now. One of these 7-Eleven owners in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it was funny. So what I'm really trying to say is that life has been very hard before, and I think my saving grace was really getting into digital marketing. And ever since like going back to that experience, it made me realize I never wanted to go back to that place or to that time that I can barely even survive, right? So fast forward to now, fortunately I was able to make it somehow. Like in terms of like career wise, I'm very happy with my career right now. I'm very happy with my family. I've got one wonderful daughter and my wonderful wife, and yeah. And I think where we met Paolo was in Reddit when you saw my post. So last November 8th, last year, I had my kidney transplant. Yeah, and 1 year before that, my wife and I were actually going through the whole process of preparing stuff for the kidney transplant, right? So I've seen some, like, during that time in the hospitals, in the government offices. One thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people can barely afford, um like, getting treated for any kind of disease, especially like kidney disease, heart disease. And I've seen some really bad things, right? Like there was even a time that some people are already lying in bed, like they have all these concoctions around them, and they still have to queue up for the government office just because they don't have any money. And one thing that I realized is that I was only able to afford my medication, my transplant, and everything because I was able to generate money with my skills. So I was thinking, when I saw those people, like, what if they know what I know, or maybe they have the same skills that I have? Maybe they'll have a better chance at, at improving themselves, or maybe curing their illnesses. So that's initially where the concept of Libre Academy started. So after the transplant, a month after I recovered, I said I should start this. I should start this right away because there's no better time than right now. So I posted a Reddit, like, I started with a Reddit post, and the rest was history. A few days after that, I've got 1,200 members in the community, and now we are currently at 600 plus active learners, and that's just like 3 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's how it
Amazing.
started.
So let me go back here. So when did you first get diagnosed with this kidney disease?
I got diagnosed in July of 2023.
So 2.5, 3 years.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
And you knew then that you'd have to go into you'd have to get some sort of transplant in order to.
Yeah, because when we found out, I was already at stage 4.
Oh wow.
A few months after, I was at stage 5. So somehow, my wife and I, we were really, really prepared to do the transplant, whatever it takes. Yeah.
So at that time, you're already a digital marketer. You're already doing virtual work. You have a great career. You have a good employee, a good client, and you're comfortable. You're comfortable.
Yes.
Obviously, it took you a long time to get there with all the. First of all, I have to say the ridiculous idea that you went homeless from gaming. Just a lesson to all you kids out there, by the way. You can lose your job. You can lose your life by literally just messing around the entire time and not taking it seriously. So it took you a while to get out of that. You got out of it. You got to this point in your life where you're married, you have a daughter, you're a digital marketer, you have a great job, and then boom, life punches you in the face and says, Patrick, thanks for getting here. Now you have stage 4 coming into stage 5. Okay, so that must have been like, okay, what now? What do I do?
Yeah.
And then if I'm right, your wife was your donor. Is that correct?
Yeah. So actually, before that, we really didn't even think about, like, we didn't even consider my wife as a donor because it's just impossible. So it actually came to a time where it really got worse. So I had like a heart attack twice.
Do you have a stent put in?
No.
No stents. Okay.
So I had a heart attack twice, and after that heart attack, they couldn't figure out why I had the heart attack. That's the most surprising thing that you'll ever know, because after that 2 heart attacks, they put me into the stress test where you run in a treadmill. I passed it with flying colors, and that's just 1 month after I had the heart attack. And then few months after that, I was hospitalized for 6 straight months, for every month, and it's from a lot of sickness, and I almost died from food poisoning. And then that's the time when we because I really didn't want my wife. I mean, I wasn't even considering the possibility. So, but my wife kept insisting that we need to do this. Let me get tested. And we went back to Manila because we were in Cebu that time. we were in Cebu that time. We were actually living in Cebu that time for just about a year now. And then we moved back to Manila to do the tests. A month after, we found out that my wife and I were compatible. So at first, I was actually I really had like hesitations because if something bad happens, that means like my daughter losing two of her parents, right? So, but my wife told me that it's okay. And what I really admired about her the most is that, like, what she said to me, like, she'd rather live a shorter life than to live alone with a longer life.
Wow.
And then that's it. The rest is like we started everything, the workup and up until November. And funny, a day before my transplant, it was actually her birthday, November 7th. We celebrated in the hospital, and the day after, the transplant happened. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. So thank God for your wife.
really, yes.
Thank God for your wife. That that's pretty remarkable that she's willing to sacrifice, take on the risk of all that. So you get to this point. Your wife gives you a transplant. You're seeing all these things happen, and I've heard a lot of nightmare stories about Philippine healthcare.
Yeah.
I've had small experiences there. I got into a car accident years back. I had to take mom to a clinic back then. Just a couple months ago while we were in the Philippines traveling. And it certainly wasn't fun. I know a lot of things. It's kind of very transactional. Like if you don't have this money in ready to go, you're basically just
Yes.
going to lie on the floor there and wait to die. So you saw all this happening. Obviously, you obviously were basically a tenant in the hospital over the past couple of years. So you were there a lot. You still saw a lot of bad things happening.
I
A lot of
was,
people
yeah.
unable and incapable of learning, of earning, not learning, of earning. And you said, hey, maybe I could teach them to get to a point that I could help them out, and they can get to the point where they can help themselves.
Yep.
Right. So here comes Libre Academy. So what does Libre Academy do? How do the trainings work? How do you envision it working today, and how do you envision it working, 5-10 years from now?
Yep. So Libre Academy, the whole concept is to really not just teach them what to do, but basically give them the skill to make decisions and to create like automations or anything within the scope of digital marketing. Right now, Libre Academy trains the learners to how to do marketing automation, but the target, like 6 months from now, there should be around 4 courses. So the first one that's available right now is mastering marketing automations, focused around in the technical side of automating lead generation workflow. The second course that would be available will be the mastering content marketing. Of course, every lead gen funnel needs to have content to work, right? And then the third course in Libre Academy would be mastering performance marketing. So of course, for any lead generation campaign, aside from the content, you need to run campaigns like the paid ads, the social media marketing. So that's the third course. And then the fourth course would be mastering marketing operations and strategies. This course allows people to basically think as a manager, as someone leading a marketing team. So this should open up like opportunities for Filipinos, not just to become digital talents, but of course have like a role that they can really be proud of, right? So it takes them from zero knowledge from marketing or any automation to someone who can actually run a marketing team. So that's how comprehensive I have designed the courses and like the learning journey for these students. Now, how I envision Libre Academy in like maybe 1 or 2 years from now, I really want to be the main platform where in Filipinos could just say, I need to learn something to have a better opportunity. We should go to Libre Academy and learn there. And I want to have like open doors for everyone. There's no gatekeeping. It's just that if you want to learn, if you want to earn more money, just go to Libre Academy, and that's going to open up some doors for you.
And these are these are pre-recorded or pre-packaged training programs, or are these all live sessions you're running?
Okay. Currently, they're all pre-recorded.
Okay.
So the students can just go back and maybe replay it if they need to. And sometimes we also have live sessions, but it's more on like question and answer. Like live webinars, so something like that.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I think that's really awesome. So you're saying there's no gatekeeping, so there's no minimum requirements. So somebody could be 17, 18 years old, says, I'm not going to college, I want to be VA, let me just start taking these classes. Or somebody could be 35 years old, coming out of a BPO, wanting to transition into VA work in digital marketing. You're going to take on both people.
Yep, it's open as long as you want a better opportunity for yourself, or for your family. Libre Academy is there for you.
Awesome.
That's the goal, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's all you. You're doing all the packaging, all the trainings. You're prepping all those things. So first of all, so I understand so as we're recording this, you're about 2 months from having your surgery and transplant. That's pretty serious. And if I'm right, you're 6 months of isolation.
Yes.
Just to make sure, because your immune system is building back up and all that kind of stuff. So you have a lot of time right now to get this thing done. On top of
I can get this up and running after 6 months.
Right. While you're still working. By the way, you're still working.
Yeah.
You're still working.
Yes, I am. I am.
You're still a husband full time, and you better be a damn good husband because she saved your life. and you're still a dad full time. So you're doing all this stuff. So you have a full plate ahead of you. Yeah, you're taking on a lot, but you're doing this all for free, which is remarkable. I love everything about this.
Yeah.
If you can give somebody, aside from the learning stuff, you've been in this industry for a while now. A lot of VAs that we meet on Offshore Diaries that we speak are actually in the first 3 or 4 or 5 years of VA work. A lot of them don't last that long, to be honest with you. I think a lot of VAs think they can do it. They think of it as a side gig, a side hustle, a job that they do on the side on top of their other job, or they do it because some influencer said you can make 6 figures tomorrow just by sitting on a beach drinking a martini while also having your laptop around pretending to work. But you've been in this for a while. This is real work. This is an actual job. Like VA work should be treated as real work. In the digital marketing side of things, I think you have a very good difference from a lot of VAs we've spoken with in the past. We've spoken with VAs in the tech world, the VAs in the general administrative office work kind of thing. We haven't spoken with a digital marketer before, which is I love because that's also my background. But on the advice side, what advice would you give somebody coming into the VA world for digital marketing today?
First of all, never underestimate the power of Googling. That's one thing that I'm going to advise you, because to be honest, all of the solutions, all of the resources are out there. Okay. One thing that I really hate the most, and I'm not saying that all people do this, like the gurus that I see in Facebook or on social media, but all the knowledge that they're trying to sell are already out there. It's already there for free. It's just that people are making opportunities out of it, right? And also one thing that I have noticed, like for some agencies that operate like here in the Philippines, I don't want to say it, but like somehow some VAs, like some digital talents, are exploited, right? So, and that's what I'm trying to avoid to happen, because I want the people to be proud of what they earn, and I want them to earn it with pride, and that they don't have to leech off someone's agency just to get there, right? What I said earlier, like never underestimate the power of Googling. It's true, because as long as you know how to look for solutions, you're never gonna run out of answers. It's all in there, right? Because a lot of people nowadays, they just rely on people telling them what to do. It's just that there has been a lot of influencers lately, and not influencers are really that reliable. Sometimes you just have to search for the answer yourself. It helped me a lot in a way that, because I found out that there are more reliable answers in the internet than taking it from other people. For some weird reason, I found that out. Like in Reddit, you'll find more genuine people. So it's really a matter of like looking for your right community, for the right group, for the right people to be with. And it all happens, if you know how to look for it, if you know how to search.
It's funny. What's funny, you say Reddit has a lot more genuine people. It's a lot easier to be genuine when you're anonymous.
Yeah,
I
that's
notice a
true.
lot of people that they're much more truthful when they're anonymous. And when you
Yeah,
see these influencers, it's easy to post videos of you in a bikini working as a virtual job, supposedly, when you're making all that stuff and it all looks great. But then you go to Reddit and people are saying, I can't get a job for the past 8 months and I'm lowering my rates down to $2 an hour and I still can't find a job. Right? That's the real reality of
yeah,
virtual work for 99% of the population. Most of them are not, making 100,000 pesos a month. Most of them are not sitting on the beach 99% of the time. Most of them are not like most of them are in a 3 a.m., no lights on in the room, trying to stay awake, right? And knowing they still have to wake up for their regular day or when their kids have to go to school the next morning, right? And some of them have other jobs and they go to work and there's a ton of coffee in their body, but they're also really exhausted all the time. And they just do it. This is what most virtual, there is nothing glamorous about it. But if you're trained properly and you have the right education and you have the right mindset, you can really be really proud of what you're doing and make a really good career and life out of it. Just like Patrick did. Like there is a chance to do all that. It takes effort. You have to go through some of the hard times to get there. I think there's a lot of people looking for
yeah.
quick shortcuts. How can I learn this tomorrow? And okay, perfect. I know it now. Suddenly I'm worth this much.
Mm,
That's not also not that easy, right? It would be
I
nice, but
agree.
it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Patrick, any last words you want to leave, for our listeners before we wrap this one up?
Yep. Libre Academy is just the start. Like, that's what I kept telling the people. It's just been like 1-2 months, and how I envision Libre Academy is to be someone that just doesn't just provide the learning and knowledge for the people, but also become a platform where they can find jobs and not be exploited about it, of course, and be proud of how much they can earn, how much they will earn, right? And it's just a matter of time right now. Of course, I've made a promise to myself and to my wife that I'm doing it not because it's my obligation to help or whatsoever, but I think it's about time. There are a lot of talents here in the Philippines. Like every inch of the Philippines is talent right there. And as long as they have the right platform to learn, to earn, and to get opportunities, I think there's a great future ahead of us. Like all Filipino BAs, regardless of what niche is that. So I just really hope that Libre Academy gets really big because I know its potential and I'm really excited to see what we can do about it.
Awesome. Patrick, thank you so much. Inspiring story. Really grateful you're alive and that you've kind of just changed how you're looking at everything. Thank God for your wife, by the way. Just again, thank God for her.
Yeah.
Congratulations on just having everything work out so far. And good luck to you and everything you do in the future with Libre Academy. We'll be watching and hopefully, watching it grow as it goes, as the time goes on. This has been another episode of the Offshore Diaries with Paulo Santos, Patrick Visto. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?